Hello, dreamers, doers, believers, and achievers, wonderful winners, and powerful people. How are you? I'm Dwayne Shigg, and tonight we're going to talk to you about encouragements for tough times. Sound like a name for a good book, doesn't it? Wink, wink. And so we're going to talk about that. The book is written to give people encouragements through their tough times. There's a chapter in there called I Can't Sing, helping people to deal with the fact that when tough times come, we focus on what we can't do, but I want to change that narrative. But tonight, we've got a very special person with us to help us with some encouragements. Wonderful woman of God, friend for over 20 years. We're talking to Miss Pastor, Miss Rhonda, Pastor Rhonda, Pastor Holbert, Rhonda, all of them names. in all seriousness, she's a friend, so I joke with her like that. But I'm going to get serious. Okay, I'm going to get serious. We're talking to Pastor Rhonda on encouragement for tough times. So we're going to talk to her about tough times that she's gone through and how she got through it in hopes that you will be helped also. Pastor Rhonda, how are you this evening?
Simply marvelous. And I know you keep saying good evening, but I always say good morning all day long. And people ask me, why are you saying good morning? What part of the world are you in? Because we know that joy comes in the morning.
What's up now?
Good morning to everyone, no matter where you are or what time it is.
That's right. That's right. Because it may be evening now, but depending on when you're watching this and where you are, I've got a friend, Frank Saliki. He's in the UK, and some people, and a young lady named Julia Vitti. She's in Italy. And so when it's evening here, it's already tomorrow, depending, when they're watching. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of you.
Yes, indeed.
Well, wanted to talk tonight on this episode of Encouragements for a Tough Time. And I want to tell you, thank you for being with us to share your story, to help some of our viewers. As I said, encouragements for tough times. People are having tough times with a variety of things. So I want to talk to you about 2020 was tough for a lot of people. A tough time that you have dealt with, are dealing with. Tell us about that, and then we can look to help some people.
So if we're going to just deal with 2020 right now, I realized that because I'm pretty obedient. If you ask me to stay home, I'm going to stay home. I figure out how to make that thing work. Right. Because ultimately the decision is not just to stay home because someone asked you to, but to stay home, to stay healthy and to stay safe. Right. And then to keep other people healthy and safe, to, that I'm not contributing to it. But I found out in the midst of this 2020 that I ended up with the only child syndrome. Only child syndrome, where because I'm home by myself, I am working on projects, I'm on Zoom meetings, I'm busy, I'm doing all kinds of things, not a lot of cooking, but that doesn't mean I didn't find COVID-15.
Okay. What does that mean?
That means you gained 15 pounds sitting at home doing nothing. So, but in doing that, I found out that I have the only child syndrome, which means that I'm not accustomed to playing with other kids. And so I typically don't want anybody in my sandbox. Mm-hmm. It's okay if I reach out to them. It's okay if they call me. But to actually come into my space, I felt invaded. Yeah. So, yeah. But we cover it, we mask it in, I'm getting things done. I'm working. I have the ability to work. I actually have a job. Mm-hmm. So we cover it with that. But when you sit back and reflect on how you're really feeling about what's going on with you, that's real important, that in this tough time, we have to take time to look at ourselves. Wow. And understand and process self. It's easy for us to look at other people and to see, wow, they're really snappy, or whoa, they're awfully quiet, or whatever the case. But we need to do some self-reflection in this time. And a lot of us are zooming out or zooming into Zoom meetings and zooming out with all of these series of things on TV. And
Mhm.
because TV now, you can see the whole series. What do they call it? Binge
Binge
watching.
watching, right.
You could sit there all night and watch something. You know, somebody says, "Oh, something's coming on with a 6 series." You'll sit there and watch it for 6 hours,
Mm.
hardly ever moving. So that's not a healthy way to make it through this journey.
So would you say the only child syndrome and all of the things that you mentioned have how have they contributed to the toughness, if you will, of your tough time?
So the challenge comes where I'm operating simply as a robot.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, it's just being robotic. Um, and ooh, it's just, how do I want to put that? Because it's so many, the outside environment is putting pressure on
Ah,
how you do what you do on the
right,
inside.
right. Okay. Oh,
So
that's good. That's good.
yeah,
Yeah. And
because
so the
the
pressure.
information, these rules and regulations are coming from the outside. They aren't
Okay.
something that I decided I wanted to do.
And so tough dealing with those, making the adjustment. Here in California, they told us you can't eat inside the restaurant, then you can eat outside the restaurant, but then you can't eat outside the restaurant. And just what, yesterday, they said, okay, now you can eat outside again. So all that adjustment can be tough in a variety of ways, emotionally and financially, and all those different things. What about
Exactly.
health wise? And I know we can segue here. I know you are a cancer survivor. And
Yes.
so a lot of times people have health issues. Now, we're not just talking about COVID, but tough times making it through this with health issues. What
Yes.
would you say to help somebody? You can reflect on your own victory in dealing with cancer, but all the things that come with that, emotional, other health issues. Was there a particular thing that you learned or you would use to help you get through the toughness of dealing with all this in connection with health issues and things of that nature, if
Surely.
that makes sense?
One, this whole thing, the toughness makes you realize whatever level of faith you actually had.
Oh, that's good.
So, I mean, some of us says, "Well, I don't have enough faith to do this," but you find out you have more than enough to do this to get through that
Right.
journey. Some people thought, "Well, I got this handled. It's no big deal.
Right.
If I just pray every day." Well, your praying is going to get strengthened
Wow.
in the midst of this tough time, because there's going to be days where you just don't understand, like, oh my goodness, how am I making it through this? But the other side is those people who are just feeling something in their body.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole COVID situation is making them too nervous or too concerned not to
Ah,
go to the doctor.
okay. Okay.
You've got to go and see about you anyway. You,
Mm-hmm.
through this tough time, email your doctor, call your doctor, do something. If you're hesitant about going in, reach out to them anyway, because there's telehealth now
Oh,
where the doctors, and guess what? There's no copay in most situations.
wow.
I'd rather do a telehealth, a phone conversation with my doctor. So I have sent my doctors pictures of things. I had a rash on my hand. I took a picture, made sure it got it good, and then I
Wow.
emailed that to my doctor. And my doctor just straight away made an appointment for me to see dermatology.
Okay. Okay.
So you've got to learn to do things differently in these tough times.
That is key right there. Learn to do things differently. So, would you say that making it one of the things that can and will help people make it through the tough times, be it, financially, relationally, emotionally, is adjusting,
Adjusting,
adjusting.
deliberately adjusting.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Don't
minute.
allow life to
Oh,
happen to you.
okay.
Do it on purpose. And if the first time doesn't work, try something else.
Deliberate adjustment.
Deliberate adjustment.
Okay. Unpack that just a little bit. I know we got to go, but that's deliberate adjusting. So don't let it just happen to you. Is that what you're saying?
Right. As you recognize that things are changing, you decide what you want it to look like. You decide how you want it to be. And so therefore, if you set a goal, say, in this time of COVID, while I have to be inside, then I want to set a project and I'm going to make that project happen and talk about how you're going to do that and walk through it. So on Monday, I'm going to do this one part, and on Wednesday, I'm going to do another part, because on Tuesdays and Thursday, you decided that you were going to exercise.
Okay.
Because even in the midst of all this, we still have to choose life. So we want to deliberately do things that will help us to choose life, and to choose life, the more abundant life that God has promised us.
Okay.
And so we want to do things that improve our life, improve the way we do things, improve the way we think, the way we feel, because we just have to make decisions that are going to get us out of the tough time in the healthiest way possible.
So we can deliberately adjust. We can recognize, like you said, you were talking about examining self, realizing you were talking about the only child syndrome. Others may be, the big brother syndrome. I'm a big brother, and my little brother is taller than me, but I'm still a big brother. And sometimes, I forget that, he's 51 years old, so I can't. He think I can't be his big brother, but that's a whole nother story. That's my issue. That's an issue for therapy. But in all seriousness, whatever your tough time is, you can make the adjustment, and that'll help you deal with it better. That's basically what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh, that is.
And if you can't come up with something, find somebody that you can confide in, that you can put your situation out there and get recommendation. Because just sometimes talking out loud, you can come to that a new solution. Sometimes having someone hear it and reflect back can give you a solution.
That's very good. So we're talking about tough times in a variety of ways, and you're helping a lot of people in their tough time as it relates to health with your Celebrate Life Cancer Ministry. Awesome organization. Tell us about that.
So Celebrate Life began as a result of my completing my cancer journey. I really did not intend to launch a ministry or an organization. I was just trying to encourage some folks. And lo and behold, it evolved. It evolved into the vision that God has given me. And we do everything from outreach, helping people get screened, to doing patient navigation, which is basically walking someone through the healthcare, the curriculum of care, helping them to remove barriers to healthcare, we still have monthly support group meetings. Wow. We have health and education. We have an exercise class that goes on twice a week. And, I have to admit, sometimes I don't always make it, but
I need some exercise, but do you have to be a cancer victim or survivor? I might want to.
Nope. No. And we do chair exercise. So, and don't think it's real easy. It's doable.
Okay.
But it's chair exercise, and it gets you moving. And that's where we have to begin, making a conscious decision to move. And then we also do hospice support.
Wow.
And we're in the midst, we have launched Shepherd's Manor. I don't know if I've told you that, but Shepherd's Manor, original idea was that we would be a home away from home for people in treatment for cancer.
Okay.
However, thanks to COVID, we had to pivot.
Okay.
And so it is a day stay. So a cancer survivor, a caregiver can come by, make an appointment, come by and chill. They can either watch television, listen to music. They can choose to talk or not talk. They might just need to be in an environment conducive to healing. And Shepherd's Manor is open, and it is that place. And there's only 2 people permitted at a time.
Okay.
And so they get the whole day. If they want to stay an hour, they can stay an hour. They want to stay from sun up to sundown, they can do that. But there's nobody spending the night at this time.
So that's just the getaway. I remember you speaking about that some time ago. So it's up and running. Oh,
Yes.
that's powerful. That's
Yes.
powerful. How can people contact you to give help or get help if they so desire?
So our website is celebratelifecm.org, or feel free to give me a call at 424-258-5433.
Celebrate life. And I love your slogan, choose life.
Choose life.
That's powerful,
And
powerful.
all that we do, deliberately choose life.
I'm gonna have to write you a check because that deliberate adjustment, I think I'm gonna be using that.
But it doesn't have to be much, just THOU.
Okay, that'll work. So, Celebrate Life is a place where people can get help, people can give help, and all the different things that you mentioned. Those are real practical things that people go through. You talked about the shepherd's manner. Sometimes we got to go, but sometimes people don't realize the need for caregivers to just get away.
Yes, yes.
And so
They do.
you help the person who has the cancer, but also their caregiver, be it husband, wife, mother, father, whatever. And that does that in turn, in a way, help the cancer patient also?
By all means, especially if they can calm down, they can get some rest. What do they tell you? Put the mask on yourself first.
Right.
So it gives them the opportunity to put the mask on, to breathe, to regroup, to have someone serve them for a few minutes. Sometimes it's just a few minutes or an hour. We all need some me time. And you can't always get it in the environment of which you are serving.
Wow, that is powerful. Give us the information one more time so people can be a part of this, people can help, people know that these services are available. Give us the contact information again.
So our website is celebratelifecm.org, and that phone number is 424-258-5433. And actually the last 4 letters spell life.
Oh, wow, that's powerful. Pastor Rhonda, thank you so much. She has told us about some of her tough times and how she made it. Some information and inspiration to help you make it through your tough time. And specifically, if you are a person, dealing with cancer, someone, she can help you make it through your tough time, giving you her encouragements for tough time, and as well as the information in my book, Encouragements for Tough Time, will help you make it through your tough time, be it financially, relationally. There are encouragement quotes in there. There's one that says, don't let problems and pests quench your quest to secure your success. And so we deal with a lot of things in there. So you can get your copy of that book, but contact Pastor Rhonda at Celebrate Life. You can be a blessing. You can get a blessing. Thank you so much, for Pastor Rhonda, for being with us this time. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, we want you to remember, yes, we know times are tough, but guess what? You are too. Stay encouraged. Be blessed.